large numbers. And we're here with an important message for the government. And our message is that it wasn't the poor who caused the economic crisis. It wasn't people on job seekers allowance who brought down the banks. It wasn't people with disabilities who were wasting billions speculating on risky financial markets. And it's not immigrants who are thieving billions in bonuses. So that's why we're here to say, stop punishing the poor.
Unemployment and inflation are not caused by immigration. Bullshit, come off it. The enemy is profit.
We say this: we will not accept the wealth of the top 1,000 people doubling in 5 years, whilst living standards fall for the longest period since Queen Victoria sat on the throne of this country. We say this: we will not accept blame and responsibility being deflected from those at the top to people's neighbours down the streets, unemployed people, immigrants and public sector workers.
We're here to oppose the cuts to benefits. We're here to oppose the cap on public sector wages. We're here to oppose workfare and the sanctioning of claimants. The list goes on and the pain gets deeper. And that's why we say that it is obscene that the richest 1% owns the same wealth as 54% of the population. And it is a scandal that over 500,000 people are using food banks in the 7th largest economy in the world.
Responsible for the mess this country is in? Is it the Polish fruit picker? Is it the Nigerian cleaner? No! Is it the Indian nurse? No! Or is it the bankers who plunged this country into Is it the tax dodgers who are hoarding £25 billion each and every year? Is it the poverty-paying bosses who have left people languishing, unable to look after themselves? Is it the private landlords who are milking the system and charging above rent? Those are the people responsible for the mess that this country is in.
We're here to say end this cruel and counterproductive austerity. Because now, more than ever, we should be standing up to be counted. Now more than ever, to make common cause. Because the government's cuts are hitting the poor hardest and women most of all. We need a coordinated movement to better challenge the pernicious bedroom tax, to oppose cuts to job seekers' allowance, and to make the case loudly and clearly to everybody that it is not the fault of young people that they're not in work. It's the fault of governments.
This is the country they are building. A country where most people in poverty are in work, earning their poverty day after day after day. Where millions are stuck on social housing waiting lists, where there's an army of zero-hour contract workers and the self-unemployed.
And when they turn around and say to us there's no money, I've got just a few suggestions about where they might find some. So what about a Robin Hood tax, which could raise £20 billion in the UK alone? What about cutting down on tax evasion and tax avoidance, and let's scrap Trident?
Tax justice, public ownership of our banks and utilities, and let's learn from our ancestors. We stand on the shoulders of giants, the Chartists, the suffragettes, those who felt the work is right. It is not for us to let everything our ancestors fought for be stripped away. We stand together, we fight together. Friends, we will win this battle together. Thank you.